Hey, it's Matt from Practice Perfect. Welcome back to the Accelerated Learning Center. Today we're going to continue learning about how to set up fee codes. Now let's pick up right where we left off. Step 1. In part 1 we talked about the fee tab where you set all of the usual and customary rates for your fee codes. But the fact of the matter is, each of your payers may want you to charge them a different amount, or perhaps they will only pay you a specific amount regardless of what you charge. These arrangements are all set up in the Payor Rates tab. To begin setting up the rates for a specific payer, press the green plus sign beneath the payer's heading and choose who you're setting the rates for. Either select their name from the list using the little arrow key or type it out. Step 2. Once you've selected the payer, you're free to begin filling out some of the basic financial information pertaining to this fee code. Note that the amount in the usual and customary rates is determined by defaults outlined in the fee tab and cannot be changed unless the fee itself is changed. The items beneath the defaults heading will also be pre-populated by the default amounts outlined in the fee tab. If, however, the defaults are different for this payer, they can be edited. Step 3. Generally, the only section that may require editing is the Payor Rates section. Like the usual and customary rates and default sections, the payer rate initially mirrors the rate in the fee tab. However, if the payer has specified a rate that is unique to them, you can edit it here. It's also helpful to take note of the several options below payer rate. The majority of these pertain to the invoicing options of the payer. For predictive use only should be checked off if you want the full charge to be featured on invoices and only want the payer rate specified in this panel to be used for estimating what you'll be able to collect on various receivable and revenue reports. If fee is allowed is unchecked, you will be prevented from using this fee for this specific payer when entering charges. This is one way to prevent payers from being charged for specific services. Do not show duration on invoices, and do not show date on invoices are pretty straightforward. Check these boxes off if you don't need that information on your invoices. But these settings will be ignored for certain invoice styles such as HCFAs where they are required. Speaking of HCFAs, include description on HCFA can be checked off if this specific payer requires the service description to appear on the HCFA claim form for this particular fee code. This is rarely required though. Step 4. And now we're going to take a look at the billing info section. The first field in this section is show fee code. For example, if you refer to a specific fee code differently internally as opposed to what this specific payer calls it, the payer's version should be entered here. Leaving this blank assumes that the fee code should be used for the insurer too. Default modifiers can be attached to a fee code if there was a certain situation in which the treatment has been provided and the payer needs to be informed about it so that they can be billed accordingly. For example, for Medicare, all fee codes will generally have a GP modifier for the physical therapy related services. Step 5. Let's take a quick look at the Provider Type tab. This is where you can attach the types of providers who will administer this service to their patients. Provider types can be added to the fee code by simply pressing the green plus sign. Leaving the provider types blank indicates that anyone can bill for this service. If a provider type is selected, then only providers belonging to that type will be able to bill for this service. Provider types can be added under Housekeeping, Contacts, Provider Types, and they'll need to be set up on the provider's profile if you choose to use this option. Step 6. Remember the product checkbox in the fee tab? Well, it's time for us to see what it does. Checking it off adds the Inventory tab to your screen. This tab is comprised of one heading, Supplier Cost. Input the original cost price that you paid for the product. Then, choose a supplier. Note that the options listed in the Supplier tab are taken directly from the Other Contacts section. Use the fields below to input some data about the quantities of the product, such as the minimum quantity, i.e., the lowest amount of product that you can have on hand before ordering, and the reorder quantity, i.e., the amount that you will order once the minimum quantity has been reached. Quantity on hand can only be adjusted by entering either sales of a product through regular treatment entry or through the inventory adjustment function. Well, that's all for this one. Thanks for visiting. We'll see you again at the Accelerated Learning Center. Be sure to check out practiceperfectemr.com for the rest of our videos. Bye for now.